Place your bets, you jackwagons. Brad the Big Noise Evans here on a solo mission of the Feed 5 podcast. Lundy is due north of Roman stew across the pond, enjoying his time away this holiday season, but you demand bets. And I give you bets. Let's go ahead and get after it and hop aboard the Hong Kong Plus Bus. You know what the requirement is. Plus 100 odds or greater. And my selection, let's go deep into the bag here. Week 17 of the NFL season. Olamide Zaccheaus of the Washington Commanders. I say anytime touchdown is going to happen against a former employer. Revenge game in the Atlanta Falcons. Very juicy plus 370 available there at DraftKings Sportsbook. Now, recent bias can be a hell of a drug. And you look at Zaccheaus, he found the end zone not once, but twice for the first time last week. But if you look at some of the advanced metric markets that are out there, he has been utterly outstanding this season. A guy that is number 8 in route win percentage as tracked at playerprofiler.com. And you look at the matchup, it is supreme. Atlanta's number 2 in pass EPA defense over the last 5 weeks. But D. Alford, who's the primary slot DB for that team, and Olamide Zaccheaus lines up primarily in the slot, is the gift that keeps on giving, Clark. He has allowed, over the last 5 weeks, 69.2% catch rate, 137.2 pass rating, the 6th most yards of a defensive back in the NFL, and 4 touchdowns as well. So Olamide Zaccheaus inside the red zone, hopefully will be the apple of Jaden Daniels' eye. They connect and splash 6 yet again at plus 370 there at DraftKings Sportsbook. With that, bet on the board. Let's get after it with another edition of the Fade 5. All right, numero 5 on the countdown. Let's get some Saturday action. We got a triple header on tap in the NFL. And in the first game, I like the Chargers starting QB Justin Herbert to go for not 1, but 2 passing touchdowns. A little lighter juice at a minus 105. But I like the over there available at BetMGM. Who's going to be playing at running back? Yes, Edwards is out. But maybe J.K. Dobbins is going to be back in action, but it could be a heavy dose of verticality for one Justin Herbert in this game. He has done this in 5 of his last 8 games. He's really been white hot here over the second half of the season. Yeah, he's only number 21 in red zone completion percentage this season, but he's number 8 in deep ball completion percentage. And we know that connection when he actually has some tacky hands displayed between him and Quentin Johnston. They've been money in the bank and some explosive pass plays that have gone across the chalk. You look at New England, number 28 in pass EPAD over the last 5 weeks. They've allowed 7 quarterbacks that throw for at least a pair of end zone strikes against them, as they're giving up 7.24 yards per attempt, 222.6 pass yards per game, and a 23-7 touchdown to interception split. Again, to opposing gunslingers. So not once, but twice, bring it home, Justin Herbert on the over 1.5 passing touchdowns in Foxborough at a minus 105 juice there at BetMGM. Numero 4 on the Week 17 edition of the Fade 5 countdown. Cue the Dance Hall Days by Wang Chung in the background. Yeah, that's a deep cut. It's a good one. That sax. Dance Hall Days. Yeah, it's going to be the theme song of one Breece Hall. Over 21.5 receiving yards in Buffalo at a minus 115 juice at BetMGM. I think this line is just way too low. In the first matchup between these two clubs, he was targeted 7 times, caught 6 balls for over 50 yards. So he could do, less than doubling that and still achieve the over on this prop. You look at Buffalo, number 31 in pass EPAD over the last 5 weeks. But most importantly, 11 RBs have eclipsed the needed number here against them this season. They have given up the most running back receptions, the most running back yards of any team in the NFL, 47.6 yards per game to be exact. You look at Breece Hall, he has run more routes than any running back in the NFL, 27.6 per game on 72.7% of the snaps played. He's a guy that's gone over this in 3 of his last 5. And again, he crushed the over on this in the first matchup. And with the Jets likely playing from behind, I think Hall was going to be splishing and splashing in the past game, be that check down weapon for Aaron Rodgers and achieve what's needed here. And that is the over 21.5 receiving yards there in Western New York at a minus 115 juice at BetMGM. Numero tres on the Fade 5 countdown. Give me one of the hottest wide receivers in the league, and I'm going to take the over on Brian Thomas, 77.5 receiving yards at a minus 115 juice there at BetMGM. Heck, I might ladder this thing to 80, 90, over 100 yards as well, all achievable for a guy that has really turned it on here of late. He has gone over this prop in 4 of his last 5 games, and it's crazy, insane in the membrane, insane in the brain. The number of targets he's received in total last 4 weeks, that number being 49. And Mac Jones looking actually semi-competent as a quarterback here last couple of weeks. Thomas on the season, number 11 in air yards, number 4 in total yak, number 11 in yards per route run, number 17 in total route wins. And he gets the Titans, who were just a measly number 20 in pass EPA defense over the last 5. 6 wide receivers, including Thomas earlier this year, have gone over this. I know Tennessee, number 31 in wide receiver yards allowed on the season, but he's going to get a whole bunch of Jarvis Brownlee, and that is a mono-a-mono matchup that he should definitely exploit. Over the last 5 weeks, Brownlee giving up an 82.1% catch rate, that 12th most yards of an ADB, and close to 115 passer ratings. So put all together, Brian Thomas stays scorching hot. Give me the over on 77.5 receiving yards at a minus 115 juice there at BetMGM. Hey, you want some more prop action? I will give you more prop action. All you got to do is go to thegamingjuice.com right now and sign up for a free account, you jackals. Everything is absolutely free. We don't charge you a single penny. Ben Wittenstein and Nate Jacobson have been cranking out all kinds of awesome college football content. They're going to be previewing the playoffs upcoming the next round, and hopefully it won't be a snooze fest like it was in the opening round action. Make sure you read their hot betting takes. Brandon Velasquez churning out some NHL pieces. Same with Nate Lundy. His free and always public and transparent spreadsheet lives there. So does mine. All my picks in college basketball and the NFL can be found at thegamingjuice.com. My rankings for week 17 of the fantasy football playoffs. If you're still alive and kicking and fighting for a championship, you can check out my opinions. Also the fantasy flames, quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end. You get it all at thegamingjuice.com. Click, converse, and cash. Maybe. All right, numero dos here with the Fade 5 countdown. Let's go to marquee matchup in the NFC North between the Minnesota Vikings and the Green Bay Packers. And he's crafty. He's just my type. Yeah, it's Tucker Kraft. Give me the over on 31.5 receiving yards. And I probably play this sucker up to like 39.5, quite frankly, against Minnesota at a minus 115 there at BetMGM. These two teams already faced this season. Back in week 4, Kraft had 9 targets, 6 catches, 53 yards, and an end zone spike. He has gone over this prop in 4 straight games. He is top 5 among tight ends in total yak, yards per route run, yards per target, yards per reception, and quarterback passer rating when targeted. The guy's been crushing it. He's really kind of been an unsung fantasy hero this season. A lot of people either got him in the beer fuzzy hours of their draft or plucked him off of waivers, and he's been largely consistent. Now, Minnesota, the respectable number 12 in pass EPA over the last 5 weeks, and they have allowed only the 17th most tight end yards, but 7 tight ends have gone over this. And again, Kraft's got that recent history. And again, he's searing here down the home stretch. So Tucker Kraft, make us some coin on the over 31.5 receiving yards in Minneapolis at a minus 115 juice there at BetMGM. And numero uno on the week 17 edition of the Fade 5 countdown. Buck up, young man. Buck the hell up. Yarr! Shiver me timbers. I'm going to go with the Buccaneer and Bucky Irving. I'm going to go with the alt market, too. I could say he goes for at least 90 rush yards against the Carolina Panthers at a plus 130 juice there. Ooh, hey, outward the shoulders and get seduced by that juice there at Caesars Sportsbook. This is wild. You remember back in week 13, he gashed the Hello Kitties of Charlotte. 25 carries in that game, 152 yards, and a touchdown as well. He is numero uno in yards after contact per attempt on the season as tracked to Pro Football Focus. He's number 11 in total missed tackles force. He's number 3 in yards created per touch. He's been the picture of efficiency. Now he's gone for at least 80 in 3 of his last 5. But you look at Carolina, dead last in rush EPA over the last 5 weeks. Have been dead last in that category all season long. They're coming up a mind-blowing 5.10 yards per carry, 141.1 rush yards per game. We're just talking to running backs, folks. 8 RBs have gone over the century mark against them. I think Bucky Irving, I think he does it again. All I need is 90 to cash a plus 130. You want to ladder it a step higher. It's nearly 2-1 odds there at Caesars. And they even have like 125 plus market as well. So ladder it up, whether you go with the step variety or the longer version. Bucky Irving, make us some bank on 90 or more rush yards against Carolina. Plus 130 there at Caesars Sportsbook. But wait. There's more. It's bonus time. Bonus time. Let's work in the Team Huevos Parlay play of the week. And that is actually not an SGP. I'm going to go ahead and correct this in real time. It's a standard parlay, and it's a simple one. A little two-legger. Jonathan Taylor, anytime touchdown, and Kyron Williams, anytime touchdown. When we put those together, you apply the boost that I had at BetMGM. It's plus 199. Very nice on this little two-legger, and I think this could be a windmill slam dunk kind of winner. Look at the Giants, who Taylor is going against. Very good, number 11 in rush EPA over the last 5 weeks, but they've given up 14 total touchdowns to the running back position. And you look at Jonathan Taylor, number 17 among all RBs and total red zone touches. He's found the end zone in 2 of his last 3. Make sure you actually cross the chalk before dropping the damn ball, Jonathan Taylor. I think he's going to be in point of emphasis in this game. With or without Anthony Richardson on the field. Maybe it's Joe Flacco, doesn't matter. I think he is going to splash 6 in this one. So give me him on leg numero uno. And leg numero dos, give me Kyron Williams, do the same thing. A guy has money in the bank when it comes to scoring touchdowns this season. He's done this in 4 of his last 5 games. He's number 1 among all NFL rushers in total red zone touches with 74. And he's going against the Arizona Cardinals, who are thinking about my ties somewhere in the Caribbean because they got eliminated from the postseason last weekend. You look at the Cardinals, just number 20 in rush EPA over the last 5 weeks. They have given up 14 total touchdowns to the running back position as well. So the Team Huevos parlay play here in week 17, two-legger, Jonathan Taylor, anytime touchdown. Kyron Williams, anytime touchdown, plus 199 with a boost there at BetMGM. Elsewhere, bonus time, bonus time. Rapid fire some of these plays. I'm going back to the Saturday slate. I wrote about this on thegamingjuice.com as a fantasy flame, and that's Andre Yoshivas. I'm going to take the over on receiving yards at just 26.5 at a minus 115 juice there at BetMGM. He has done this in 5 of his last 6, seeing a ton of action out of the side, over 50% of his snaps, as a matter of fact. And a guy, too, respect on number 45 in total route wins this season, and number 20 in quarterback passer rating when targeted at 110.7. He gets the Denver Broncos. Now, the Broncos have been stiff in the secondary, number 4 in pass EPAD over the last 5 weeks, but the weakest link is clearly Jaquan McMillan, who mans the slot. He's given up a 70% catch rate and the 6th most yards of any DB over the last 5 weeks. So I love Andre Yoshivas over at 26.5 receiving yards at a minus 115. Elsewhere, let's go to Las Vegas and New Orleans. In a game only a fantasy player or better could love. I like Alexander Madison over 2.5 receptions at a plus 1 35. Rolling the shoulders again against seduced by that juice. He has done this in 7 of 12 games and 2 of his last 3. He's averaging 11.3 routes per game, catching 77.5% of his pass targets. And the guy's got 14 total targets over the last 3 weeks. Saints number 19, middling, and pass EPA over the last 5, and they have given up the 8th fewest running back receptions, but 11 RBs have hauled in at least 3 against them. Again, at a plus 135 juice. Yeah, Gilly, Alexander Madison over 2.5 catches at a plus 135. And one more, vroom, vroom, Jerome Ford. I'm going back to the receiving yards market among running backs. There are a lot of soft numbers this week. And Ford's one of them. I'll give you the over on 18.5 receiving yards, and I'm going to take that at a minus 110. Remember, no Nick Chubb. He played over 80% of the snaps last week without him. I ran 20 routes in that game, and a guy that had 5 targets, caught all 5 for 39 yards. He has gone over 18.5 receiving yards in 4 straight games against the Miami Dolphins, who've allowed the 12th most RB receiving yards at 35.5 per game, and 12 RBs have gone for at least 19 receiving yards against them. It's the likely deficit in this contest. It doesn't matter if it's ATR, Jameis Winston, under center for Cleveland. I say, again, vroom, vroom, Jerome Ford. Even Chevy guys would agree this number's too low. Slamming the over on 18.5 receiving yards at a minus 110 juice there at BetMGM. All right, I'm out of breath and out of time on this rapid fire edition of the Feed 5 podcast. Do us a favor. Would you kindly drop us a rating and review at your convenience? Also, fade or follow us on the X. Lundy's always giving it to you at Nate Lundy. I'm doing the same at Noisy Huevos. Go to thegamingjuice.com, you jackwagons, and sign up for your free account today. Happy New Year! We'll be doing these a little bit more infrequently in the new year with the NFL regular season donezo. Maybe there's going to be a new episode on Monday of next week. If not, we'll probably crank out one of these like once per week in preparation for the weekly NFL slate all the way through the Super Bowl. And, of course, I'm going to be peppering in some of that college basketball action. So stay tuned. More to come. And as always, feed or follow. That is up to you.